The next question is legality. So in 2016, John Key briefly considered taxing foreign buyers of New Zealand property with a stamp duty, and a stamp duty is extremely similar to the tax or fee that you are proposing. Now, he was asked at the time whether there were legal provisions that would exclude us from taxing Chinese buyers, and here's what John Key said at the time.
We don't have the right to put on, funnily enough, a stamp duty. And the reason for that is that stamp duty was, taken off the table, if you like, through the free trade agreements we had, not only with Australia and Japan, and it also includes
because
Mexico.
Of the free trade agreements.
Again, stamp duty very similar to the tax that
we
you
couldn't
were proposing.
do it
now, since then,
because
New
of the
Zealand
free
signed
trade.
the 2019 tax treaty with China, which has the same provision, meaning that we couldn't put in the discriminatory clause. However, John Key got advice that there was one way around that discrimination issue in the double tax agreements. There was one way to tax foreign buyers. You have to apply the fee to all non-tax residents. The problem with that is that it includes New Zealand citizens. So here's
all non-tax residents. So, there's a tradition in New Zealand of going on the OE when you're 18, 19, 20, 21. You go away for 3, 4, 5 years, you become a non-taxed resident, right? So I don't know if it's still the same as it was in my era, but you go away for 3, 4, 5 years, you work in a pub, you holiday around Europe, you bring pounds back with you, and then you buy a house. So the only way around this, that's a terrible freeze frame, by the way, Mr. Luxon. Put that tongue away. People have picked up on it too. Sorry, I'll just put these up there. Luxon's face. So confused. The only way around it is to tax non-tax paying residents, i.e. when New Zealanders come back from their OE and they want to buy a house, then they have to be included as well. John Key will explain this.
That's what John Key said. A tax on non-residents would capture some New Zealand citizens as well as foreigners, as it would be applied on the basis of residency, not nationality.
There you go.
So to be 100% clear, and please give us a clear answer on this, do you have expert legal advice that explicitly says you can tax non-residents, including Chinese buyers?
I'm sorry to interrupt this. I'm going to go back because this could be your next Prime Minister. He's just been shown by good journalistic work a massive gap in his policy and plan from his predecessor who tried to do the same thing and found his way around it. I implore you to watch his response, and when we make this into a clip tomorrow, share it with everybody.
Nationality. So to be 100% clear, and please give us a clear answer on this, do you have expert legal advice that explicitly says you can tax non-residents, including Chinese buyers, whilst creating a carve-out for all New Zealand citizens?
Jack, I'm not going to get into this with you. I'm going to be really clear with you about why where we are. Because we're...
Jack, I'm not going to get into this with you. Jack, I'm not going to answer your very fair question based on policies that my predecessor tried and gave us the answers to. Jack, I'm not going to get into this with you.
For all New Zealand citizens.
Jack, I'm not going to get into this with you. I'm going to be really clear with you about why where we are. Because where we are is we're saying you're focusing on one aspect of our funding for our
This is
plan.
fundamental to the credibility of your central policy. You want to be Prime Minister.
You are fixating on foreign buyer ban that we're putting in place.
You need a foreign buyer ban to raise $740 million
a year
in order to fund the tax cuts that you were giving New Zealand.
Fund the tax cuts?
Yes.
Remember, there's other bits to it. Which
$740 million.
Now, let's make this clear, right? Luxon is pushing this aside, saying this is only a part of how we're going to fund it. It doesn't matter. This is a part of how you're going to fund it. This is $3 billion of your supposed $16 billion because it's $750 million a year over 4 years. So he can't say this is just a part of it because you know what? If Labor had a $3 billion hole in some of their plans, he would be shouting it from the rooftops. Right now, Jack's just gone, this is the only way it can work according to your predecessor. He said, well, this is not the only way we're going to service the tax break, the tax cuts. It's not the only way we're going to do it. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if it was 500 million and not 3 billion. You have to actually explain how this is going to work. And he refuses to do it because you know why? He can't do it. I would bet dollars to donuts he's never heard that before. I would bet dollars to donuts that this is new news to Mr. Luxon. And that's why he's, quote, not going to get into it with you, Jack.